We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
If I call you uncouth,
it's simply that.
who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the truth?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, darling. You
Welcome to
caught me
another-
about to put my earrings in. Oops.
I thought you weren't wearing earrings.
Yeah, I try not to think. I don't want to hurt myself.
Well, welcome everyone to another episode of Naughty or
Nice. I'm the naughty Alexis Flame.
and I'm the nice Toni Homeperm.
Yeah, so you say.
So I say. Don't forget, I can mute you. So,
I know where you live.
that's true. That's very
The
true.
broomstick is idling.
Okay. I just want to start sharing this everywhere on all our pages.
Oh, yes, please share it to my page.
We're going to share.
Yes, but I didn't set up the second computer.
That's
I
okay.
was running late. What else is new? They don't call me the late Alexis Flame just because I'm undead.
Why is it letting- it's not
I
letting-
just
but I
washed
want-
my hair and I can't do a thing with it.
No.
I should have just left it in the sink and worn a different wig. Oh, I love your hair.
Oh, thank you.
You're giving me very 1970s Breck girl.
Oh, I love it. I love a Brett girl.
Oh, honey, this quarantine has to come to an end because I've got 10 wigs that need your husband's attention.
I'm sure you do.
I'm sure I'm not the only one, so I'm calling dibs.
No. Well, we have people watching. Dakota Michael, Claire Purple, Ismaelito, one of your sons.
Izzy, mother loves you. I'll see you on Saturday, handsome.
So, we apologize for the late start, but hey, we're drag queens. What can I
Blame it
tell
on
you?
the redhead. Well, blame it on the wild redhead.
The wild redhead, yes. Blame it on the rain.
Yeah, right?
meetings. Oh, Eva Sanchez, Chris Boyer. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Oh, Chris, you shady thing, you. Welcome aboard. We love Chris Boyer.
We love Chris Boyer.
Or right now, Chris Boyer.
Chris Boyer. Well, Alexis, I'm dying of thirst, and
Yes, funny you should mention that.
you've been promising.
It is about that time.
You've been promising
tonight,
you could teach me how to
since
make a
I am
Manhattan.
the horror diva of New York City,
Mhm.
how I'm the horror of wherever I live. Tonight we're going to have a Manhattan.
Manhattan. So I got to put ice in the shaker.
Yes, you do.
How much? Does it matter?
Oh, I don't know. I fill mine about halfway.
Huh.
I was going to be nice and measure, but
Okay.
I've decided I'm going to be naughty and just do it by eye.
Okay. So what's
Now,
next?
first we need our rye.
Rye. I have
For
the
those of you
rye.
who don't know, it's not the bread. It's a type of whiskey.
Correct.
Oh, I don't know whether to drink it or dab it behind my ears. We love rye. And we're just going to give that a healthy splash because we're going to have more. I'm going to have more than one cocktail.
Okay.
Now,
Yes.
We need our sweet red vermouth.
Okay. How much of that?
When you start pouring, count to 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
And our bitters.
Bitters.
The bitters just use a splash.
Now, wait. Now, let me ask you. I didn't know. I have two different
Your
kinds.
camera's frozen. Oh, there you go.
I didn't know which ones to get. I have aromatic or I have orange.
Use the aromatic.
Okay. And how much of that goes in?
Just a splash.
A
Small
splash.
splash. A dash.
A dash.
Just a dash. Just a dash of bitters, my dear.
Okay. Dash of bitters.
Okay.
Got it.
Now, before we put the cap on the shaker,
Mm-hmm.
I like to get to the garnish. This
Okay.
cocktail is garnished with a maraschino cherry.
Only one?
Oh, honey, I'm taking 2 because my cherry is long gone and forgotten. As a matter of fact, its very existence is questionable.
Okay, so I'm gonna put 2 maraschinos in there.
Here I have the cherries with the stems on them.
Oh, mine don't have stems.
I hear Toni Homeperm can tie a maraschino cherry knot with her tongue.
She could try.
Okay, so now that we have our garnish in the glass,
Yes.
now we put the cap on our shaker.
Okay.
Pretend it's a shake weight or such a familiar gesture. Oh wait, I'm right-handed. Yeah, I thought of that too. Ooh, that's cold. Then we take off the little cap.
Yes.
And everybody pay attention because if we did this right, the cocktail should be the same color as our hair. Oh, I got mine right. Oh, Toni, you got yours right too. Wow.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yes. If it matches your hair, Toni, you get a gold star.
Yay!
My hair has a little bit more highlight. Cheers.
Oh, I should have my. There's my
that
straw.
is tasty. So. Oh dear, I can't reach my ashtray. I'll have to get to that later.
Very nice.
Oh, I had a green room assistant last time. I don't know what happened. So, today we have a great show for you.
Yes, we do.
The Mother's Day madness continues.
Yes, it does.
Because our special guest tonight is one of the many handsome sons of Alexis Blade.
How many do you have?
Who the hell can count that high? Oh, somebody's texting me. That's nice. Oh dear, my girls seem to have a mind of their own. So, well, we have about 5 minutes before we bring him on. But our guest tonight from Connecticut is the handsome and talented artist and activist Ricky Mestre, who's immortalized his mother in a cartoon portrait. This is a portrait done in acrylic of the horror diva herself. You can tell because she's wearing a lot of jewelry. She has big hair, fangs, and cleavage.
Who else could she be?
Well, if she was a couple of shades lighter sans the fangs, she could be Toni Homeperm.
And if she was blonde.
That too.
Speaking of Mother's Day, Tuesday we did the with the Long Island Gay Men's Chorus. We did our
oh my God!
Mother's Day
that is well over. Do you know that it's well over 1,200 views now?
Over 1,300 now.
Over
Over
1,300,
1,300.
yay!
Yes, yay for us.
And I want to thank our fabulous cast,
Mhm,
Madison Mansfield and her daughter Bella Noche,
mhm,
myself and my daughter Sissy Walken,
mhm,
Toni Homeperm as Sylvia Manaldue, and
mhm.
the incomparable glamorous bag lady Annie Manaldue.
Quick,
And
more
last but
corn.
not least, I would like to thank our handsome host, Mr. Danny Schrafel of the Long Island Gay Man's Chorus.
Yes, he did a fabulous job as always.
Now, it was Madison Mansfield suggesting doing a Disney motif. I know
I
Annie
don't know.
Manadue's going to hate me, but I've already called Ursula.
I don't know if she wanted to do a match game Disney or she just wanted to do some sort of Disney
Well,
show.
no matter
I
how
don't
you
know.
slice it, I call Ursula.
You're still gonna be Ursula.
Yeah.
I have no idea who I would be. So I have to say. I
Oh,
don't
you're
know.
so sweet and innocent. You could be Snow White,
I,
but you're drifting,
I guess Snow White would work for me.
right?
I guess if you say so.
I say a lot of things.
We know.
And there's that. Well, it's about that time. Do we have my handsome son in the waiting room yet?
Uh, not yet. I thought he was gonna be coming into the waiting room, but he should be coming in just a few minutes, I'm sure.
Well, we
So,
could always send him a text.
well, yes. And who else is watching? Christine. Am I saying it right? Christine? Kristen says hey.
Hey,
Oh,
thank you for watching.
and Chris Boyer says that Danny needs to be his future ex-husband. We'll have to let Danny know.
Oh, really? Well, like I
Yeah.
said, Gregory Barbera is my next ex-husband.
My husband is still my husband.
I'm sure his husband would like to hear that too.
I'm sure. I'm quite sure.
Oh, please, of all the times I died, at least 10 of them were being killed by by jealous wives and husbands.
Hmm.
Hey, it happens. What can I tell you?
I tell you. Jealousy is a very ugly thing, Dorothy, and so are you and anything backless.
Thank you, Sophia. Oh,
Oh,
speaking of which, we simply must have to have Tom Cat on a future episode.
I wholeheartedly agree. Wholeheartedly agree. That will be a lot of fun.
But oh my god, I still can't get over that bitch. She not only looks like but sounds just like
The
Beatrice Arthur.
Arthur. I know, I know. She did
She's Beatrice Arthur has, as you said, been be animated.
be animated. Uh,
Oh, it's getting so hot in here.
I know. I don't have my AC put in the window yet, but I'm like, God, how I wish I had done it already.
Yeah, well, I'll have to hopefully rearrange my living room before the next Naughty or Nice because my AC's in the window right behind me.
Hmm. I know, I know. But this weather is so crazy. I don't know whether I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna be winter and there's gonna be frost, or spring or early summer. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I
Oh,
know.
but but
I haven't even put my furs in cold storage yet.
oh but guess who has is in the waiting room? Our good friend
Let me guess. Is
Bitten
he a
Mary.
very handsome Hispanic?
Yes,
Oh
I'm
my.
I'm
Could
gonna.
it be my sexy son, Ricky Mestre?
It is, and I'm gonna add him into this broadcast with us.
Okay, and I'm
Oh,
going to lean
hey,
over
Hi,
after.
Ricky.
Oh, there's my sexy
here I
son.
am.
Hello,
Oh,
Ricardo.
I didn't see you come into my studio.
Oh, Well, you know, I have the ability to turn into mist and creep under the door.
That's
Well,
right.
you sure did. And here you are. Oh, here we all are. Hi, Tony.
Hello. Oh, I see. Ricky is very.
No
Oh,
greeting from mother.
he's got
I
a
said hi to
skeleton
you
T-shirt.
first. Hi, like, hi. Hi, Mom. I haven't seen you in
Ricky,
100 years. We only
Ricky,
talked about 30 minutes ago.
yes, exactly. We were just talking about the amazing cartoon portrait you did of your mother, the horror diva.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you enjoy it so much because, you know,
No,
I put
actually,
my
I don't
heart
even
and soul
like it.
into
I
that.
freaking love it. It's
Okay,
amazing.
good.
It is
Thank
beautiful.
you.
I've also been immortalized in cartoon form by another handsome son of mine. We'll have to
Do
get him on
tell.
a future show. But I really do love this. If you can see it, he even got my fangs. I love
Yes, he did.
this
Yeah,
is just
that was important
everything.
that I put that in.
Oh yeah, and look, the background is that of a medieval castle or crypt.
Well,
It's
isn't that where
just
you live?
everything. It really is.
I
Even
expected to see that.
the background depicts a home befitting an undead noblewoman.
Well, then that means that you need to move from where you are right now, and I want to see that scenery behind you.
Oh, please, oh, just the air conditioner, the curtains,
I don't
the
want to see a
coffin
curtain.
couch.
Uh,
Oh,
had I known, I would
even
have changed that background.
I just
even
have sequins.
Even my Eddie Munster Woof Woof doll. We love Woof Woof. Looks like my son Ishmaelito.
I hope he's watching and heard that.
Oh, he's watching and he heard it.
Watching.
Oh, good. So what's happening?
No, but
Yeah, you
I
guys are
have
making like Manhattans, and I have a
Yes.
Connecticut here.
You have our
well,
Manhattan.
you didn't ask mother for the recipe.
I didn't get
When
the
this
memo
whole
until
horror-
you guys were like giving the
Oh,
ingredients
I
like
told
right
you
on the
we were
show.
doing Manhattans on the phone. That's
You
why Tony and
sure
I are ready.
didn't. Well, you said that
Oh,
like a half
wow.
hour ago. I didn't. I only had vodka and like soda.
Well, Ricky, do you know how
So
to make a
I'm eating the
Manhattan?
cherry.
what's that?
I'm eating the
I heard
cherry.
that about you, Tony. I mean,
Tony.
Tony's hair is so smooth and coiffed, and I look like an old heavy metal video vamp.
That's
Oh,
okay.
wait.
I love heavy metal.
All
Well,
right, so
I've got my
Ricky, darling,
pandemic hair on, so you know, I guess we're
so
all
do I.
good. Then we're
And
all in the same boat here.
we're drinking quarantinis.
Yes. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yes.
I don't have a fancy glass. I just have a stolen glass.
So Ricky,
Oh, that's okay.
let me ask you.
I'll be
Hi,
back.
Tony.
Hello.
You look different than last time I talked to you.
I know, right? Just a little.
Oh my god, I can't hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear
It's
me?
the magic of television.
I guess. I hope you don't have to go through this the entire show.
Can you hear us?
So, what's happening in New York? Because you guys are in New York and I'm in Connecticut, so you know we have almost the same kind of things going on as you guys got over there. But at the same time, you know, it seems like our governor is just paying attention to what your governor is going to do, and then we just kind of follow along with him.
Pretty much.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about governors and such things.
Let's not talk about governors. You came to talk about me and my art and my...
Exactly, because politics bore the ass right off of me. And in case nobody's noticed, I have a pretty big ass.
Wow, let's see that
So
on the
now,
camera. How about that?
let's move on to something fun and entertaining.
I would love that.
Ricky,
Yes.
other than being one of the many handsome sons of the legendary horror diva, we want to hear more about your artwork and the fact that Ricky is also an activist in his local community. And just recently, Ricky Mestry was a recipient of Connecticut's coveted Dorothy Award. Weren't you?
Congratulations.
Tell us about it.
No, I'll tell you something about that Dorothy Awards. That Dorothy Awards ceremony happened right when everything was like really getting hot and heavy with this pandemic, around our area. So it feels like we reluctantly went along with it because everything was already set. Everybody was ready to go. And we went along with it. And it's almost like, thank God we did. I was talking to a very good friend of mine, Dolores Degage, and she was
Oh, we love Dolores Degage.
oh my God, so do I. But it was funny because, it was almost like we were so appreciative that that event took place because that really felt like the last time that all of us really got together as a community. To be, we had like hundreds of people in that room, and it was like fantastic. And
Well, as I understand, it pretty much was the last major get-together
yes,
of the Connecticut community.
yes,
And anyone who doesn't know of Dolores Degage, once a very popular dancer and dance instructor, I taught ballroom. Dolores
really,
went so much deeper than that. But Dolores Degage is also Connecticut's famed drag photographer.
wow.
Now, if anybody saw the pictures from that evening, Ricky was with another one of my handsome sons, Calvin Cox. Tony, you met
Yeah.
Calvin.
Yes, I
They
have.
both wore these beyond incredible jackets. You don't by chance have yours at the studio, do you, Ricky?
I don't. I didn't come prepared. You know
Oh,
what?
fully.
I only have in the studio what was already here.
Oh,
But if now that I'm like tied into this, how do you say, this whole like this
live
this.
feed.
Yes, thank you. I'm like lost for words right now. If you just scroll back through my picture history a few months back, you'll see, the jackets that I designed for me and Calvin. And
He not only designed them, he painted them himself.
I
They
painted them myself.
are amazing.
No, and he wore them well. Thank God I found his size, which was actually a size up from what he told me he wore. So I was like nervous to like get this jacket because I needed it to like match and coordinate and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to like tamper with any of his own personal stuff. I said, I'm gonna get you a blazer, and I'm gonna do something to it, but I need your size. He was like, I'm a 34. I'm like, the only thing I can find is a 36 and up. So I took the chance, and the 36 fit him like perfectly.
Do you know how many years ago it's been since I could wear something as small as a 34? I don't think I could remember waving goodbye to wearing a 34.
Well, and don't forget, we are in the
I used to be
21st
before
century.
the pandemic, and now I think I'm like, munching on too many things too often, and I'm like snacking and like eating and like, now things are not quite fitting me the same way. Now I'm like getting nervous. I'm like, oh, I better start running.
Believe it or not, I have actually managed to lose weight.
Really?
During this pandemic.
Have you been doing like a lot of walking or something, or what you doing?
Yeah, back and forth to the kitchen and the bathroom.
Oh, well.
She took off her breastplate.
Walking. I don't know. I just figured
you know what, Tony? Yeah. I lost 10 pounds by taking off my breastplate, my wig, and my jewelry.
I take off 10 pounds.
I would have lost another 10 pounds if I took my makeup off.
Well, there you go. There's write a book about that. How to lose 10 pounds in like 5 minutes.
Ricky, what inspired you to become an artist? I mean, I think your art is just beautiful, but what inspired you?
Show you what I'm working on right now.
Yes, please. I want to see it.
I'd love to see it.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm
show it off.
Studio,
show it off.
So as you can see, there's like kind of paintings all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surrounded by my own artwork. Yeah, no, it's kind of a sight to see. My studio is about the size of a New York apartment, so it's actually really small.
Actually, my apartment is pretty large.
Of course it is.
Tony's been here.
Whoa, what else would it be than something like gigantic? So this
it has to contain my ass.
So this is my current painting that I'm working on now. So you all are going to get a sneak preview on this because no one else has seen it this far yet. But that's
A naughty and nice exclusive. Oh, hello.
It's kind of so I'm trying to like hold my camera the right way. I don't know if you can see it, but that's where it is right now. Ultimately, give me another week or so, and I'm going to post the final picture up on my Facebook and my Instagram and all this social media and stuff like that. But that's just
Ricky,
kind
were
of
you
right
into
now.
comic
So
books
you got
as a
the
kid?
before shot.
Ricky, were you into comic books as a kid?
Go on, girl.
Ricky, there's a portrait behind you. By any chance, was that based on Logan Starr?
Which one?
Over this shoulder. Your other shoulder. Yes. Yellow background.
Oh, that
no,
shoulder.
the other way. Yeah.
This
no.
or that?
The other way.
This.
No, over.
This.
That one. Top. Yellow background.
No, that actually was done years before I even met him. The one
kind of looks like his physique.
Yeah, a lot of because I usually have like friends and models pose for me before I like make a painting. But the one that was based on Logan Starr, even though it doesn't really look like him, but that wasn't really.
Yeah, that's the one you said came out looking like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
actually, I can see Logan in that.
So
very nice.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah,
but you know what? I'll tell you something about that painting. Let me go back to it so maybe you can get a better view of it. I usually, when I photograph my references and my models and things like that, I'm usually working under very controlled situations where I'm like looking at the lighting and all this kind of stuff like this. This was just a random photograph of Logan that I photographed him at Trevi while he was, working Bryce's, stripper night. And, it was taken in the kitchen. And I was like, well, now that this pandemic is going on, I really can't, invite people over to the studio to like get photographed. So let me just look at what pictures I already do have. And that was a great picture of Logan. And, I figured I'd just kind of like do something while I have all this free time on my hands. And that's
Ricky, honey, if you can count that high, how many portraits would you say you've painted to date?
To date? I don't know, because I have different styles. So, there's like portraits per se of that were done on canvases.
Portraits, caricatures, cartoons, just in general, just an ish number.
Hundreds-ish with an S, pluralized.
That's what I thought.
I don't even know. I've been doing this since I was like, basically a kid, using
well, we're not going to ask you how old you are now, but you are handsome as hell.
Well, if I can hold on to these looks a little while longer, I guess I'll be good.
Oh,
my secret, I drink vodka.
Oh, yes, alcohol is a great preservative.
Yeah.
That formaldehyde.
Yeah,
a little
glass of water.
It doesn't hurt any.
No, actually, you know what? When this pandemic started, I actually wasn't drinking a lot because I'm used to being more of a social drinker. So whenever I drank, it's because I was out. And, I was like hanging out with people and whatever like that. Now, this pandemic kind of like ruined me because now I'm like, find myself like drinking alone in the studio or drinking alone at home. And just like, I usually would be out right about now. So I'm just going to have a drink by myself. Just, to kind of, so I'm getting.
Well, right now you're drinking with two glamorous ladies.
Yes. No, tonight is different, because, I got you two here, and I got acquainted with this idea of like virtual drinking, and a very good friend of mine.
I like that.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. You heard it here first on Naughty or
Nice. Virtual drinking.
She just came up with the concept of virtual drinking.
Virtual
I
drinking.
love it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the originator of that, but you know, if I had something to do with it tonight, yeah, no, that's what it's done. I can't like credit myself to that because actually it was one of my very good friends, Christian, that like called me up and like we were talking. We don't talk to each other often because he moved, and he was like, "Let's have a drink." I'm like, "How are we gonna have a drink now?" He said, "No, we'll just we'll go on like FaceTime, whatever the fuck it
Right.
is, and like we'll just have a drink and we'll like
Mhm.
just like talk and have a drink the way we used to do, like when we were able to go out and stuff." So
That's smart.
I'm gonna like credit that to Christian Rivera.
Christian Rivera, thank you for the virtual drink.
He started it.
There you go.
I don't know if he termed it that way, but he definitely like got me started on like I love to be able to look like have a drink and like be on like some kind of FaceTime of some sort or whatever this is called, StreamYard. I've done a FaceTime, a StreamYard. I'm just like
FaceTime, Zoom, StreamYard,
Zoom,
Yard, it's all
yes.
good.
So it's all like
potato. You say potato, I say vodka.
yeah. So it's all like starting to get a little bit familiar with me because these are all like new concepts for me. I'm a little old school. I like being in front of a person to talk to them.
So, Ricky, in addition to myself, what other noteworthy drag queens have you re-imaged as a cartoon? I know Lucia Virginity, a past Empress of Connecticut, is one.
Yeah, I just did that for her birthday, which was not too long ago. Actually, her boyfriend reached out. Actually, no, I'll go back even further. She had been wanting me to do one for her for a long time. And I said, okay, well, let's talk about it. And it kind of never happened. And then her birthday was coming up. Her boyfriend reached out to me. He's like, listen, I want you to make a picture for her birthday. I was like, oh my God, she's been wanting this forever. Let's just make something. And the thing with Lucia is like, I was like really trying to figure out, well, what is your look that people are going to identify you with? Because she's always got like a lot of different looks when she performs and when she's out and about. Sometimes she has long hair, sometimes she has short hair. Oh, I just
sometimes she doesn't even wear her hair.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes she doesn't even wear her hair. So I was like, let me think about something that me personally feel like I associate with her, and that's how I'm going to draw her. And she's done a lot of stuff for the court in Connecticut. So I used, a photo reference of her crown and her jewels that she wears when she's participating in court events. And that's how I ended up, depicting her, as a court member, because, that's definitely been like something that
you would like to do a portrait of, Ricky?
Been like involved with and promoting and, all that kind of stuff. So I said, I think it's going to be an appropriate thing. But personally, at first, I was like, I love Lucia with her long hair, but I was like, a lot of times she wears her short hair, and I've gotten better acquainted with that. But something about a girl with long hair, I'm just like, I like that better when girls have like long hair and they just, have all this stuff.
So, Ricky.
Yeah, exactly.
Ricky,
yes.
By any chance, what are the possibilities of you eventually doing a portrait of a certain normally blonde queen that I know from Long Island?
I don't know this certain Long Island queen, but the chances
actually
Wait, are we talking about Toni?
Yes.
You know what? Hold on.
Toni is normally and legally blonde.
Okay. See, this is kind of my introduction to her, and prior to this conversation, she didn't have any hair.
I had my real hair.
This is my introduction to like really getting acquainted with her, and then she, now all of a sudden she's like wearing like red hair, and I didn't get the memo to like spray paint my hair.
You'll
red
have to
something.
pardon me. I need a refill.
But of course, I was, she was so kind to allow me to be part of her show tonight. How can I say no to that?
Oh, her show. Ricky, you seem to forget the show has 2 hostesses.
Yes, but
I
I
did you
control the
already.
mute button.
He
I
did
control
me
the mute
already.
button.
I
Listen
did.
to this. And do you recall how much I charged you?
I do, yeah.
Oh dear. No, but Ricky, honey.
Sweetie baby, mommy, darling.
Sweetie darling.
After the show, you and Toni need to get in contact because Toni, you saw my portrait. It's a lot of. Oh, listen to this.
And
Toni
she
behaved.
said, "Oh, I absolutely
No, but
had to have one of those in my apartment or house or
yes, I
castle,
did.
whatever she lives in, you know."
Well, actually, it's an apartment built beneath a mausoleum.
Ah, even better. I love it. I'm
But
jealous.
Ricky, I really think that Toni Homeperm might be interested in having you do a character of her.
Yeah, I would love to.
And Toni, I think you really, really must.
She must. Okay. So I just need to get a little better acquainted with you because this show
And
is
Tony's
like my
husband.
introduction to her. Oh, that's
Tony's
right.
husband happens to be the wig wizard Frank Bacari.
Okay.
So what you want to do, just like you did the very horror movie Castle background for me, in the background for Tony's portrait, I would suggest you have some musical equipment, per se microphones,
Okay.
and there simply must be at least 7 or 8 wig heads with big hair on them. Ricky, where did you go?
Oh, there
There
it is.
you are.
There you are.
Oh no!
Yes.
I lost you.
Oh, wait, no,
You're
we
back.
have you.
You're here.
We have you.
We see you.
We see you.
Oh, don't worry, Ricky. I went through that the first time we went live.
Hold on.
Can you hear us? Ricky,
Hello, Ricky.
can you hear us?
Ricky, don't lose that number.
Oh,
You
God,
don't have
really,
to call
Tony?
nobody else.
I think we
No?
lost. Oh, he lost
Hold
the
on.
sound.
Lost the sound. Oh no!
Sorry, somebody. I don't know if you're still talking to me, but
We're
We
still
can
talking.
hear
someone
you.
tried to call me and it like ruined everything.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Oh,
tell my brother for
geez.
wanting to talk to me like right now. I can't hear you. Damn.
Maybe he
Okay,
should.
I'm going to text him.
Maybe he should log in and log
Hold
out
on.
and log out and log back in.
Ricky,
I'm gonna.
I'm going to call you, Ricky.
Okay. Oh, he logged out. He logged out.
Okay. All right, hold on.
Okay. He's gonna try. We're trying to get him back on.
Use the same link
Technical
to get back
difficulties.
into the show.
Technical difficulties, people. Technical
Oh,
difficulties.
wait.
I'll
Well,
just
Tony,
be people. Here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes.
all right, but Tony, do you remember the first couple of talking Tonys we did at my apartment?
Yes.
And the thing just went all sideways.
Can you hear us, Ricky?
Yeah, now I can.
Oh, good. Okay.
Welcome back, cancer.
My brother decided to try to call me right in the middle of what you were talking about. And
Did you get my text, Ricky?
And I was like, no, leave me alone
Welcome
now.
back.
Ricky, did you get my text?
Don't you know I'm busy? Okay, so now I'm back. I'm sorry about that.
That's fine. It's all good.
I should have made a big public announcement like, don't call me, don't text me, don't message me, don't nothing.
Ricky, trust me, they won't listen.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, seriously.
They don't listen.
I'm busy.
They really don't.
Okay, sorry. I just missed everything that you said.
It's fine. It's fine.
Don't worry.
I'll have to go backwards and
I talk
watch
all
this
the time.
later on and let me see what I missed here, so you don't have to repeat. Unless you want to repeat yourself, that's fine too.
You didn't miss anything. We're just talking about ourselves.
Oh, okay. Well,
and we do that all
while
day
you're talking
anyway.
about yourself,
All
let's
day.
pour myself another drink.
Lady LaBelle is watching. Madison Mansfield
Hi,
is
LaBelle.
watching.
Hi, Madison.
Okay.
My friend David
Oh my
Lombardo
God.
from the
You
Long
know
Island
what?
Demons Chorus is watching.
I'm gonna tell you a story about Madison
Oh,
because
Uh-oh.
I
Honey, we
went
can all
I
tell
went
a
to
story about Madison,
the courts
but
event.
we
Oh my
love
God, I'm like running out.
Madison.
I might as well just finish the bottle. That's all.
okay.
So nobody
And
ever said
Madison had this
anything bad
friend
about my
named
Madison
Roxy. Now,
Mansfield.
mind you, I'd never met any of these people before. I was there for 2 people. And I was there for Kiki and I was there for Don. Kiki was stepping down and Don was like stepping up. If that makes sense. And all of a
I'm
sudden,
actually
I had on
Kiki's
like a
fairy
clown
godmother.
outfit. And this girl comes up to me. She was like, "Oh my God, listen, I need you to do me a favor. I have a friend. Her name is Roxy, and she's like mortified of clowns. Can you just like scare her when we call her over?" I was like, "All right, I
Sounds like
don't
something
know
a
who this
child
person
of
is.
mine
Oh,
would
we'll
get
point
in
her
on.
out to you. Watch, we're gonna, I want you to hide over here, behind these coats." And we're gonna call her over. When she comes over, she's got black hair and I think a red dress or something. When she comes over, we want you to scream Roxy at her.
Oh
I was
no.
like,
Oh,
okay,
Roxy.
I'll do it. And
Oh,
of course they're
Roxy.
like, "Hey, Rock, you guys know Roxy, obviously, because
Mm-hmm.
I met
well, there you go.
Roxy.
Okay,
You're
well then you
lucky
know who
she
I'm talking
didn't
about. Hopefully
slug you.
she's watching. She can see what it looks like behind all the makeup I had on that night. And what do you call it? They're like, "Roxy, come over here." And like, innocent her's like walking over, like, "Okay, what happened?" And as soon as I see her, like, whoa, there I am.
Vicky.
That's how it was. I was like, "Roxy," and of course I had on like just clown makeup on and
Oh, Lord.
the whole 9 yards, which is why they want me to do it, because she's like deathly afraid of clowns. We need to scare her. I'm like, okay, what's
That's
in it for
like my
me? They're like,
daughter
"We'll buy you a
Tia.
drink." I think they still owe me a drink at this point. I was like, "Roxy."
No, but we
She
really,
was like,
Tony and
they're
I,
like, no, actually, the deal was if she pees in her dress, then they'll buy me a drink. That's what it was supposed to be.
Did you get a drink bought for you?
She didn't pee in her drink, so they never bought me a drink.
Oh,
But
darn.
I
Oh,
know.
darn.
What are you gonna do?
that's okay, Vicky. After the pandemic, you come
I tried to
visit
give my
mother in New
scariest
York.
Roxy.
Ah.
So what else? What's going
The
on in this
name
show
that
I can
everybody.
like participate in now that I'm here?
So, Ricky, I wanted to ask you. I don't think you're going to hear me before. Were you
I
into
couldn't.
comic? Were you into comic books as a kid? Because your art
Oh yeah.
style to me is very graphic.
Actually, I'll tell you a little story if I can.
Please.
Okay.
We'd love to hear it.
We're not going anywhere.
Well, I'm
Was
here
he into
all
comic
night,
books?
as long as
His
you
mother
want me
looks
on.
like she can Spider-Man.
My
course
earliest
it was-
memory of drawing anything
Mhm.
was Lucy from the Peanuts gang.
Oh,
I know
interesting.
my mother. I had 3 older brothers, and my mother bought a book for us that was from the Peanuts gang. And my earliest memory of drawing anything was looking at that book and drawing, not knowing who Lucy was
Right.
at the time, but I remember trying to draw her, and that's my earliest memory of drawing anything. Ultimately, that became my favorite comic strip for the longest time. I've always idolized Charles Schultz, who's the creator of the Peanuts gang, and a lot of my cartoon work was kind of influenced and inspired by that particular artist growing up. I did a lot of things that had these real they look like little kids and short round characters and whatever, but I just patterned them to
what's
look
wrong
like
with
people
being
I
short
knew
and round?
in my own way, which was a style that I developed afterwards. And yeah, no, definitely that, but as far as comics, yeah, no, that particular comic was the one that definitely influenced me growing up. I, ultimately grew to have an appreciation for DC Comics, so I'm more DC than Marvel. I know people have an argument about that, but yeah, I think I'm more DC for whoever that matters to.
I actually trained to be a comic book artist. I went to
Really?
I went to the Joe Kubert school.
Stop it! My cousin went there.
Really?
Yes.
A small world.
I don't know if you were there at the same time he was there.
Probably not.
I don't know. I mean, did you know a guy named
I
Jose
was-
with the same last name as mine?
Animation school.
Jose Mestri? No, I don't. I
Yeah.
don't. What
Ah,
what year was that? Around?
I have early 90s.
Oh, that was after me. That's why.
Full
Well,
twinkies.
he went to that same school.
Mhm.
And what do you call it? Yeah, no, that's the only reason why I even know about that school is because he was the one who, after high school, signed up to be part of that school to like study. Because I mean, all of us really, like me, my brothers, my cousin, we were all into like comic books and comic art and things like that. We were all developing our own comic style, and that's something about my family that has always been very prominent. Is like there was some artistic something about everybody in our family, particularly the males. I don't know what it was, but like a lot of the guys in my family have some kind of artistic ability.
Oh.
The girls were smart and pretty, but the guys
are
would
artistic.
definitely have some kind of like artistic ability.
Do you know?
Well, if your brothers look anything like you, they're kind of pretty too.
Yes.
Ricky, Mother has a question for you. What would it take for you to make a cartoon image of
Well, I'll tell you
my
something, Tony.
lovely co-hostess?
I can either hear you or her, but it's never both.
Oh, he can't hear. He can't hear both of us. I don't know why.
Right now, I'm hearing you. Before, I was only hearing her. So right
This
now,
is
it's
strange.
you.
No,
So
you can't
let's
hear
just
me
focus
right
on
now.
what you want to say because
He
right
can't
now,
hear you.
Yeah,
Alexis.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Well, Tony, since he
prior to
can't
this,
hear
to
Mother,
our conversation, I was hearing only her, and I was seeing you react,
Right.
but I wasn't hearing anything coming out
wow,
of your
and
mouth.
now
Now
I'm
it's
mute.
reversed. Now I'm hearing everything you say, but I'm seeing her react, and she clearly wants to say something. But right now, the
Yes.
conversation is just between you
I
and I
always
think you're
want to
controlling
say
that. So
something.
we can just continue that,
Tony.
and
All
mommy,
right,
you can
well,
just
you know
like
what?
sit there and
There's a
listen to us.
So we can
There's
just
a simple
we can just
solution.
ignore her.
At this
It's
point,
just,
no,
it's
Yeah,
just
okay.
me and you, Ricky.
we can watch her wave her hands and like act like she wants to say something, but none of it is like wave your hands really hard, but we're not hearing it. Well, I'm not hearing anything you're saying right now.
Wow.
I'm only hearing Tony. Before this, I was only
Oh.
hearing
Can I
you.
get a wire
So
hanger?
now it's her turn. So wave your hands, do whatever you want. Nothing is coming out. So just, if you can speak sign language, say
Oh,
yes
my
or say
Lord.
no,
I don't know.
clap your hands.
I don't know why
something.
you can't. I don't know why you can't hear her. Maybe
Can you
it's,
see if
don't
there's a
know.
wire hanger?
It's something.
Thank
It's not
you. I
something on
love
your
you.
end because you're the one controlling this whole madness.
it's true. I am. I wanted to ask you. Do you know Greg Fox, who does Kyle's Bed and Breakfast? He's a gay cartoonist, and he has that. It's like a gay. It's a whole gay comic strip about this bed and breakfast owned by this guy Kyle.
but I feel like I
I've
should.
seen that.
Maybe I do. The name Kyle rings a bell, but maybe I'm thinking about a personal Kyle I know.
I have to.
Has nothing to do with.
I'll send
what
you.
you're talking about.
I'll send you the information to it later.
I would love that.
Yeah, he. It's very comic book inspired, and actually,
Yeah. I've always been very comic book inspired, even though honestly I loved comics, but I didn't really I didn't really read a lot of comics, but I just more like I loved looking at the pictures. I've been more of a picture man than a word man.
that makes sense. Alexis, what do you want to ask Ricky? I'll have to
You're gonna have to translate in between.
I'll have to translate.
Do you see what I'm holding?
I see. Wire hanger. That's why I'm asking you. What do you want to ask him?
Actually, I was thinking of a gift for my lovely co-hostess. I was wondering what it would take for my son to do a cartoon portrait of Toni Homeperm.
Oh yeah. Well, we're going to talk about. We wanted to talk about you doing a portrait of me, but we're going to talk about that.
Well, we can talk about that now. Right now the conversation is really only between you and me because I can't hear anything she's saying. But I can see her moving her hands and holding weapons and things like that. So we can talk about what it is you'd like to see for your own picture. And I know I like text you like really late last night. You're like, my husband's sleeping. We can't talk right now. I'm like,
I know
okay.
Wow.
I don't want to, because he'll like he'll wake up. That's
I know.
that's
No.
why.
I didn't even take that into account. That was for me. It was more like I never done this before. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Let me like ask questions like at the
sure
last
you
minute.
Oh,
But let's talk about the kind of picture you would like to see.
well,
Now
you
that
know,
Alexis
probably
is
some.
on like
Well, Alexis was the horror diva. I'm considered like the singing diva or the songbird
okay.
of Long Island. So I would like,
Oh,
something
Long
with me
Island.
singing
Okay.
probably.
I
You
didn't
know,
realize what part of New York you were from, but you're from Long Island.
I'm from Long Island.
Long Island. You know, I've been
Long
there a couple
Island.
times.
Long Island.
Last
Yes,
time I went to Long Island, I actually like crossed through Long Island to get to Fire Island to see Cher. So that
you
was
have
my
to.
last experience going through Long Island.
Yes.
So I took the Port Jefferson ferry from Bridgeport because I'm like
Hmm.
down the street from it. So I
Right.
got on that like ferry, which is better than like driving all the way through New York and like
Oh
down
God,
and
yes.
whatever. Which I had
Yes.
to do coming back because my friend that went with me got sick.
Oh
The night we
no.
went, yeah, no, he got sick the night we were going to see Cher, and it was in the summer. It was very hot, and we went to this thing that like we were going to see Cher. She was campaigning for Hillary. Oh my God. Why wasn't Hillary the president right now? We would not be going through this.
No
right
politics.
No politics.
No
Alexis,
politics.
I know.
Alexis
Anyways,
says no politics.
anyways, so
No politics.
it was like in the middle of September, so it
Mhm.
was still very hot because now all the seasons like shifted or whatever. And
Well,
we went to
that's the new song right now.
really.
See you in September. And that's what everything's gonna be. Everything's gonna be see you in September.
I'm more about wake me up when September ends. But yeah, so we went to see Cher.
I'm like, wake me up when the pandemic
because it
ends.
was like before election, and she was like, "Let me get the gay vote. I'm gonna go to Fire Island. I'm gonna go to Miami. I'm gonna go here and there." And
we're back on politics.
we went there, and then we, because we were gonna get a picture taken with Cher,
Mhm.
we were like on this like rooftop separate party from like the pool party, that we can like overlook and see like, hey, everybody down there, we're gonna meet Cher. You're not. You're gonna see her from the patio. And he got very sick, and
That's
last
unfortunate.
ferry to Bridgeport, because I looked at the schedule wrong, and I was like, oh, there's another one at this time. We can just take the ferry back to Bridgeport. And we got there, and they're like, no, the last ferry left already. We're like, oh, now we got to drive all the way through New York back into Connecticut instead of just like taking a little ferry ride up there. So anyway, I don't know what made me think of that, but that you just said something that like reminded me of that memory. And Mother is over here like waving her hand, trying to say something. He's like, I want to be part of this conversation, but it's just between you and I, Tommy.
No, don't call her mother. Don't call her. It's mommy queer.
Mother.
Don't call her
that's
mother.
true. It's mommy queerest.
Mommy
God, does that mean
queerest.
she's gonna abuse me later?
Yes. Well, that goes without
I
saying.
don't want that.
That goes without saying.
No. I told her before the show started. I said I'm gonna be on the nice side. You got like naughty and nice. I said I'm definitely a nice guy. So
She's the naughty. I'm the nice.
Well, I'm a nice
Says
guy.
you.
Says me.
But
I
see,
think,
it's
I
a
don't know. I
shame
think you're
that
being
Ricky.
kind of naughty tonight. I think you purposely took her microphone off so I can't hear her, so that I can just focus.
Yeah,
on
that's right, Tony. Make sure I'm not actually muted.
and,
You're
this is
not
I
my
on
don't put that
Twitter.
past you.
No, I don't.
No.
It's
No, you're not on. You are definitely not on mute. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe it's the StreamYard. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to go back to Zoom. I don't know.
I don't know. We're on this, and it took me forever to like figure this format out. I mean, what we could do is you can like kick me out of the conversation and like resend me the link, and I can come back on, and then like
let's try that.
Let's try it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try it.
All right. You sign off.
I don't know
And
how
I'm
to
going
do
to
that.
resend you the link.
Okay, so I'm going to sign off for a minute. So if you're watching me, and if you're here specifically for me, I'm going to come right back. So this is just like
Ricky
I
will be
believe
right
a lot of men are
back.
here specifically for
I don't
you,
even know if any of my
Ricky.
friends are even watching, but if they are, then this is for you. I'm going to come right back. So I'm going to leave. Send me the link again, and
I
I'll try
will.
this again because I want to be able to talk to both of you,
Okay,
All right.
we'll see you in a
not
second,
just one at a
Ricky.
time. Even though that was fine for a minute.
Oh,
All right,
listen
bye.
to this.
All right. So now I'm gonna
Alrighty.
send Ricky the link again.
Yes, please.
Come on. No, cancel that.
I got a wire hanger from.
Okay. All right. We sent Ricky the link again. We're gonna see if when he re-logs in, if he
Yeah,
can
hopefully you
hear
can hear us both.
both of us simultaneously. I don't. Well, he was able to when he first logged in. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Interesting times we
Yeah,
live in. Um. Oh, my friend
probably
Tony
better
Domino
earbud.
is watching. Oh, Pepper is watching. Randy
Your
is watching.
Majesty, everybody give a shout out to Paprika Swirl
Paprika
of Planet
Swirl.
Pepper. And all you
Jason
ladies
Sobelman.
need to order an Astro Booty.
Yes, if you need hips and ass.
I, however, do not need an Astro Booty. I come by all my booty naturally.
Oh, I need.
Yes, because you don't have a hiney.
Mm, no.
But no, Planet Pepper is Paprika Swirl is the driving force, not only a past empress of the Imperial Court of New York and a great friend to both Toni and myself,
Yes.
being members of the court. Toni is a baroness. I am a princess in the Imperial Court of New York. But Empress Paprika Swirl, known entertainer and activist, and she is the driving force behind Planet Pepper and the legendary Astro Booty, which has been seen on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes, it has.
Astro Booty is an amazing product.
Oh, here's Ricky.
Oh, is Ricky back?
He's back. We're gonna see
Love
if he
you,
can hear
Pepper.
both of us now.
Bye, Astro Booty.
Sorry. Okay,
Okay,
now
Ricky.
I can hear both of you.
Oh,
Oh, can
yay!
you now?
He can hear us
You
both.
poor dear.
Yeah. I don't know what happened before. That was like
I don't
I can hear
know.
one or the other, but
One
not
or
both.
the other. Oh well.
Okay. All the bees are gone, so I'm gonna open up my window because I'm like dying in here.
Oh, Toni, I just had a fabulous idea. We should reach out to Pepper
Mhm.
and have her as a feature guest on Naughty or Nice.
Nice. That would be wonderful. I'd love to have Pepper on.
Who's
I'm
Pepper?
going to reach out to her this evening.
Salt and
Yes.
pepper.
Paprika Swirl, former Empress of the Imperial Court of New York, and she makes
Ah.
the hip pads. I don't know if you've seen Planet Pepper NYC. They've been featured on.
No, I don't
RuPaul's
The
see
Drag Race.
amazing
anything.
Astro Booty.
She makes the Astro Booty that many drag queens, including myself, use to give us that shapely curve that that a girl needs.
I love Pepper, and I know for a fact that Astro Booty is an amazing product.
Yes, it is.
But I don't need a padded booty. I want her to make me something to make me appear thinner.
I'm glad we can hear all three of us each other at
She's
the same
not-
time.
She's not a magician, Alexis.
Yeah. But sweetie,
Sweetie.
we'll always be dear companions,
Oh.
my crony.
How you like the view from my window?
Oh, what's out there?
No, Ricky, don't jump.
No,
I'm not gonna jump. I'm not gonna jump. But I just want you to
Ricky,
see
don't
the principal-
lose that number. You don't have
Oh,
to
my
call
God.
nobody else.
If I turn my phone
Yeah,
the other
Ricky
way,
won't
will I
lose your
will I
number
be upside
till
down for you
several
guys?
balls.
Hold on, I'm gonna try something.
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh, he went
Am I
out the loop.
Am I like normal right now?
Alexis
pretty
thought she
sky
was having a
around
bad
No,
acid
Ricky,
trip.
Ricky, no children of mine are normal, honey.
Oh, thank God, because I certainly,
Exactly. Ricky, are you on the fire escape?
No, I wish I was. I'm outside my window.
Oh, you're just leaning out the window like an old Brooklyn Italian broad.
Well, no, I'm leaning out the window like a broke Puerto Rican boy in Bridgeport.
Oh, okay.
That might be the same thing.
I mean, no, seriously.
I'm taking a chance
You
here doing
all
this.
these high-tech security cameras, but nothing will give you better security than an old Italian or Puerto Rican lady or an Italian or Puerto Rican fag, and I happen to be both, leaning out a fucking window.
That's right.
Well, that's what I'm doing, only because I looked out the window and I saw I'm the only one in the entire building right now, so I feel like
oh wow,
this is my art
you
studio.
Hear that, boys? Go and get them.
There's nobody in this building but me right now. So, technically I'm not supposed to do this, but, I've been having drinks, and I'm just like, every time I have a drink, I'm like, I want to have a cigarette at the same time. So,
well,
I'm
that's
just like,
pretty much.
But I stick my head out the window.
Let's have some fun while my handsome son is with us.
I know. There
comes a segment of very naughty or nice.
Oh, I'm a nice guy. Sorry, I'm boring.
We know
like
you
that.
are, but this isn't about you. This is about Mother. And Mother is only half the work.
All right. Let's just skip over me. You girls talk.
Tony, did anyone write in this week to ask Alexis something?
Yes, they did.
The hell you said.
I do.
Well, to our loving fan base, what question can I answer this evening?
Shall I read the letter that I received?
Oh, by all means.
Okay. All right. This is for our Ask Alexis segment.
And be very careful when you ask Alexis, because she will tell you
the truth. She will give you the straight tea.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
No tea, no shade, no pink lemonade.
Oh my God! Just ask the question already.
or maybe all tea, all shade. Dear Alexis, I am a drag performer who has been on the scene for quite a while. Not as long as you, of course. After all, I was born in the 20th century. Anywho, I belong to a charitable LGBTQ organization, and I also run my own business selling merchandise for drag queens and other entertainers. Okay. I've always been happy to donate my goods and services to this group, but lately they have been asking me to contribute to events for raffles and such, but haven't been asking me to perform at these same events. I feel a little insulted, like they don't value me as a performer. And I have performed all over the country at many well-known venues. I'm not sure how to feel about this. What do you suggest I do? What's the matter?
The sound is getting wonky.
Oh, sound is wonky? Yes.
You're vibing. But get to that. Yeah, the sound is wonky.
Oh, I don't know why.
But I do have an answer.
Well, that's fine, because I heard the question, and I feel like I can answer it for
I heard the question. All right. Unlike our viewer, I don't own such a business, but I'm privileged enough to work for such a business, and I have many human connections. And Tony, I'm sure, being the wife of the wig wizard, you might relate to this. I mean, it's one thing to be able to get extra talent.
Oh, I have no sound for you.
Oh, no. Well, then you know what? I'm going to answer that question for her, because I feel like I can...
We have no...
Personally...
Alexis, Alexis.
You know what? Let's shut it down. Back.
All right, she's gonna log out
I can.
Well,
and
I'm
come
going to
back.
answer that question for her because I feel like I can relate to that question.
Oh, well, see, you can relate to it too. See, with me, I have access to other entertainers, and I work for this great company that's helped out events. But there's such a thing as professional, and there's also reciprocity. And it's kind of insulting when contact
Can you
and
hear her,
you
Wiki?
want their efforts, or you
She's
want their product, but you don't want them also. Think about it.
Tony, I can hear you clearly. Mother,
I
you're
can't-
breaking up.
I can't
Mother
hear
dearest,
Alexis.
you're breaking up. Oh, you can hear Alexis. Can you hear me?
Ricky, I can hear you. I can't hear Alexis.
Right. So I feel like I want
Sound-
to answer that question because I feel like I can relate to that question a little
Yes,
bit.
please.
So I'm going to answer it from my perspective.
Please do.
Being somebody who, is, somebody who participates in a lot of events and, how do you say, is also an entertainer at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, in that respect of somebody who like is being asked to like participate in things and like offer things, but not being quite asked to like participate as a performer.
Mm-hmm.
I get it to some degree in the sense that, for me personally, my main thing is being an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much a performing artist, but more of a visual artist.
Right.
And with that being said, it's kind of like I think certain people may recognize what my strengths are, and I recognize what my strengths are. And maybe as a performer, that's not really my strength, even if I do it. But as a painter, as an illustrator, as a painter, and people who someone who draws things and things like that, like maybe that's more recognized for something that I can contribute to certain things. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times I'll like, be invited to like, can you donate a piece of artwork for charity?
Right.
I'm like, okay, you want me to perform? No, we have our performers. Okay, I'm okay with that, and I'll donate a piece to like, to be auctioned off or to be raffled or, whatever it is. But I try not to take that personally
Mm-hmm.
or be offended by that because I know in general, for me, my main thing is being a visual artist,
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm just like, okay, I think because I recognize that I'm more of a visual artist than a performing artist, I'll accept the fact that people will also see that about me. They'll want me to like donate a piece to like,
Right.
can you like make something for a certain charity? We have our entertainers because there's people who like that's what they do. I
Right.
do that too, but that's like a secondary thing for me. Like I like to perform, but that's never been like my immediate thing. Like I'm an entertainer, I'm a performer. I like to be in front of a crowd and like to do whatever it is that I do. So I don't know if that's quite answering that person's question about why they might not be asking that person to perform.
Mm-hmm.
But in the sense, from my perspective, it's like, yeah, no, I think people started recognizing that I'm more of a visual artist. I love to paint. I love to draw. I love to like create things. Performing, yeah, I like to do that too. But that might not be the thing that people associate me with.
True.
So maybe for that person asking this question right now, that could be how people are perceiving that person who is asking the question. Like, well, maybe they're only looking at you for the other things that you can contribute to certain, you know, things that may be going on in the community. And like, well, we need, auction pieces. We need this and, that. And you can participate in this part of it, but we're not quite familiar with you in the sense to like perform yet, because you're not doing enough of it for people to associate you with being a performance artist. You know what I mean? In which case, you'll just have to just keep doing more of it. And that's why I'm just like, you know what? I enjoy it. I'll do it when I can. But I'm certainly not getting like hired as much as some other performers to like participate in the same kind of a venue and that kind of thing. Am I rambling or am I like making some sense here?
No, you're definitely I mean, there's always every question. There's always multiple answers to every
Right. And I
every
feel like,
question.
and I think that's my answer to it. It's like, understand that sometimes people associate you with a certain thing. And if you're not doing enough performances, they might not recognize that aspect of what you come with, you know? So for me, it's like people understand that I'm an artist, I'm a painter. They're like, can you donate a piece of artwork for this charity we're doing? Well, I can perform too. Oh, we got art performers, you know? So I don't take that personally. I don't take it offensively. I just understand that, like, okay, different people out there may only associate me with, you know, certain things that I may bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And for this particular purpose of the question, you know, my artwork is really what I've been like pushing. I'm like, you know, I'm an artist, you know, I'm a visual artist, but I'm also a performing artist, and I can do that if you need it. Not to say that I haven't done any performance arts, but you know, more people know me as a visual artist. You know, I
What
make
type of
artwork.
performance art do you do, Ricky?
Well, typically what I'll do is if I'm going to be involved in some kind of show that, especially like if it's like ultimately a drag themed show,
Mm-hmm.
I'll do like, you know, I'll kind of follow along the footsteps of what drag queens will do. Like they'll pick a song, they'll lip sync to it,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I can't do flips and stunts
Oh,
and
me either.
whatever.
Me either.
But I can I can move my mouth to the song. But what I'll do in my performance is I'll like create a piece of artwork while I'm doing my performance. You know
Oh,
what I
really?
mean? So yeah, so that's kind of what was my little thing that I'll do. Like, okay, yeah, I can dance a little, but you know, I mean, I can dance a lot. I'm not sugarcoat it. I can dance,
Okay.
but you know, my main thing is I can create a piece of artwork quickly. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so in the same way that drag queens will, um, you know, dance around and move their mouth to make it look like they're lip syncing the song, I'll
Well, I
do
sing
that.
live.
Oh, well, you know what? Sometimes I can sing live too. You know, I'm no Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston or anything by that, you know, measure or you know, Broadway artist, but you know, I can sing karaoke. I love to
Oh,
do
we may
that.
have to duet.
Oh my God, I would love to. But in general, you know, most drag queen performances will lip sync.
True.
So, you know, with that being said, I'll like pick a song, I'll lip sync to it, and I'll, you know, have like, you know, some kind of pad or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
board or something, and I'll create a piece of artwork during the length of a song, you know? And that's kind of what my performance is about, like
Mm-hmm.
creating art while I'm doing the lip sync performance like a drag queen would do, but I'm not going
Wow.
to be in drag.
I would love to see something like that.
Oh, you can. I have plenty of footage.
Yes, please. Send it to me.
So I will, now that we're like getting better acquainted with each other.
Yes.
But that's kind of, you know, the kind of thing that I would do.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about, you know, it's more about me making an artwork
Mm-hmm.
piece. Unfortunately, you know, it's one of those things where it's like you got 4 minutes to make something, or 3.5 minutes, or whatever the length of the song is. So usually what will happen is if I'm like doing a show, oh, sorry, I gotta move my camera. If I'm doing a show, I'll do my number and I'll request to be like early so that they can see like the start of it. And while the show goes on, I'll be backstage and I'll finish it. And by the time, like, you know, okay, let's bring everybody out.
Alexis
Then
is back.
they'll. Oh, she's back. Okay.
She's back.
I hope
Oh
I can hear
yes,
you this
I'm
time.
back.
Oh, good. Now I can hear you both.
You can hear us
But
both?
that's kind of what I will
Excellent.
do.
So I can hear you both. So
Okay.
now back to that question.
Back
I
to the
do not
question.
own a business. I do not own the business I work for. I wish I did, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the privilege of working for this very great company that I've become the face of over the last couple of years. And, excuse me, we have donated to a lot of great events. I also have access to other great entertainers. But personally, I find it insulting. And Toni, you must go through this, being the wife of the wig wizard. And Ricky, you must have experienced this, people wanting you to show up and do characters and whatnot. It's actually lacking class and professional courtesy to contact an entertainer for their connections and their merchandise without actually asking them to be part of the event. It makes people feel excluded, and at times it also makes people feel used.
Mm.
I mean, sometimes these are package deals
Mm-hmm.
and just common sense. Because you know what, Toni?
Mm-hmm.
On our last show, I believe it was Tanya from Tuckahoe.
Yes.
If you know me well enough to ask me to be part of my show, you know me well enough to ask me to be part of yours. And if you want my company's products, or you want access to the other entertainers that I'm affiliated with, but you don't want me as well, well then don't be surprised if I'm not very excited when you ask me.
Very true.
I mean, it's a matter of common and professional courtesy.
Right.
Because to just ask me what I can do for you, but not ask me to be part of the event, in my personal opinion, it's just wrong. It's insulting.
Mm-hmm.
But can I
Oh,
interject for a
your
quick
son's going to
second
play
there?
devil's
Of course you
advocate.
can.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Devil's
But
advocate.
remember, the devil owes me alimony.
No, but when it comes to things like if it's a charity event, sometimes you
Oh,
have
I
to
understand if it's a charity event, but
right.
still,
Then
you want my connections, but you don't see me as talented enough or worthy. I mean, it's still a slap in the face, no matter how you peel it, core it, slice it, or dice it.
probably, but let me just fill you in on what I was telling Toni before. I was like, you know what? A lot of times, sometimes people will see you and they will identify you with maybe something very specific. Like in my case, people understand that I'm an artist. So they may not recognize me as a performance artist, but they'll look at me as a visual artist, and they're like, "You make artwork, you make paintings, can you contribute something to this show?"
But in your case, Ricky, you still have to be there to contribute.
Of course, but at the
In
same
our
time,
cases, in our cases, we've been contacted for what we could provide,
hmm,
but have not been asked to be part of the event.
okay,
And
so
it's
maybe,
insulting.
yeah, no, obviously it's a different kind of a situation for you guys and me. Me being like, I can contribute something without even needing to be part of the show. You know what I mean? Because they
We
might not look
can
at me as a
do that.
performer.
All right, Ricky, I understand what you're saying, honey. And yes, we can do that. And who knows, we might be previously engaged. Okay, but we'll still arrange a contribution.
Of course.
However, just via professional courtesy, by common sense, by professionalism, even if it's still nice to be asked.
Of course.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And
Exactly.
people don't seem to understand that. And then they wonder why people get upset. It's like, you can ask me for this, this, and this. Okay, but you don't ask me to actually be there and be part of it. And I might not be available. Toni might not be available. But you know what? You can contact me to ask for something. What can I give you? But you don't invite me to be a part of it. I might not be available, but it is nice to be asked. It is called professional courtesy.
If you're not available and there is something you can contribute, because maybe if
by
it's
all
a
means, I
charity
do. We do.
of course, and that's where you can just
whole,
like, participate,
which sounds very dirty when I say it. But just on the whole, if you're going to ask me for my connections,
well, that's a different
maybe
thing.
you want to ask me, can I appear? If you're going to ask Toni for her connections, maybe ask her if she's available to perform that night. Ricky, if they're going to ask you for your artwork, perhaps they'd like to bring you up on the mic and say thank you for sitting in the corner and doing the character and being handsome as hell. It is called professional courtesy.
Oh, I get that.
Okay, and when you just
I respect that and I appreciate that.
But if you're just going to ask, well, what can I get from you? But we could care less if you show up.
Yeah,
it's downright insulting.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened with the person who wrote in. Apparently, they were asked just to supply things, but she wasn't. She was not asked to actually perform. And apparently, from what she wrote, it's been happening to her more often than not. So I guess that's why she's a little upset.
Well, I can sympathize with that view.
Of course.
Because it's happened to me. Toni, I know it's happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, and let's face it, Toni, we're both busy ladies.
Very true.
But if you're going to ask us for our connections, is it going to kill you to ask us if we might be available to perform? If we can't perform, of course, if it's a cause we support, of course we're still going to contribute.
Right.
But have a little respect for the person you're coming for, to ask a favor.
Right. If you're going to go to you to ask for something,
just
at least have the kind of courtesy to like ask you, like, do you want to be involved in this
pandemic? A little bit of respect can actually brighten somebody's day.
Very true.
Am I wrong?
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Just a little bit of respect, just a drop of courtesy could brighten the hell out of somebody's day. Yeah. And let's face it, kids, today, all of our days need brightening.
Absolutely. Oh, and I have a follow-up from Tanya from Tuckahoe, who contacted us.
Now.
Yes, contacted us a couple of weeks back. Ricky, just so you know, the last episode, Tanya from Tuckahoe had asked us for advice because someone was putting together one of these online challenge things.
The makeup brush challenge.
A makeup brush challenge, and she wasn't asked, and this person had asked Tanya to be on her show, but then went and put together this makeup challenge thing with all these people
and asked everybody that Tanya worked with except for Tanya.
Except Tanya.
Where I come from, that's booty.
Yeah, so Tanya was, she was kind of like,
insulted. I guess
insulted because the person
I
put it together,
insulted are both good words.
Was had no problem asking Tanya to do something for her, but excluded Tanya.
But nothing for Tanya.
But anyway, Tanya messaged me just to say that she figured that You know what? There was probably a lot of other local performers that felt the same way Tanya did, like they
You
were
know, we
being
should ask
excluded.
Tanya to be a guest star one
I
evening.
should.
I
I
know.
should. And, you know,
Who's Tanya? Where's she from?
she's from Tuckahoe.
Lake Tuckahoe, New York.
Tuckahoe. Oh, she's from New York. Okay.
And I had
Well,
to ask her, was she a hoe that knew how to talk?
Of course. Tanya actually went and put together her own makeup challenge thing and asked all these,
How did it do? Tony, did she tell you how it did?
she told me it did very well, and apparently
Oh, that's a good thing.
all the girls that Tanya, well, not just girls, she
You
asked.
know, speaking of makeup brush challenge,
Mhm.
okay, when we did ours,
Oh,
and
ours,
then Madison did one and asked me to be a part of it,
yes,
and she couldn't open the file that I sent
right.
her, I should have asked you to forward your
Yes, you
copy.
should have told me. You should have
Oh,
told me.
but
smooth.
everybody, you gotta look at the Naughty or Nice page
Yes, you can.
because Tony and I have both posted videos.
Yes, all the
And
time.
when I did the makeup brush challenge for Tony, and I'm sitting there and I'm talking to my roommate who was helping me because here I am, the flamboyant drag queen, and I live with and I
No,
have
you're
two
not
straight guys
flamboyant.
living in my apartment.
Mm.
So anyway, so my one of my roommates helps me, and I said it like 20 times. Tony will edit it.
Tony will edit it. Tony will edit it.
So Tony took that and ran with it
I made a
and made
blooper
a
reel.
video. And the last thing you see is my jiggling my jugs with this like video game demonic laughter. So I said like, oh, oh, oh.
Oh, it was
Oh, by the
quite
way,
amusing.
before this goes on YouTube, Tony will edit it.
Tony will edit it. Tony will edit it. Tony will edit it. Tony will edit it.
Yeah, I felt like, I'm surprised nobody gave me a saltine. Probably want a cracker. Tony will edit it.
Tony will edit it. Tony will edit it.
Ricky's hanging out the window having a
He's hanging
cigarette.
out the
I'm
window.
hanging out.
He's hanging
just
out
hanging
the
out the
Ricky's
window.
having a WTF moment.
I'm just like, I'm listening to you girls chat, so I'm just like, I'm gonna
Ricky's
take a
like, the
break now.
next
I'm gonna
time
have a cigarette.
Alexis Flame calls me, right to voicemail with that old ass.
No, never.
Oh.
That's good because I saved the return address from my portrait.
And she'll find you.
You know where to find
Alexis,
me.
1, 2, Alexis coming for
For
you.
you.
3,
I
4,
think I need
better lock your doors.
5, 6. She's gonna grab your. Well, you know what rhymes with 6.
Crucifix.
Yeah, no, I don't grab those.
Bagels
Class-
and lock. He's gonna grab your.
Toni Homeperm.
I didn't say it.
Tony, you're
Now
not being
who's
very nice.
Tony.
Calvin
Now
Cox.
who's the naughty one?
Calvin Cox.
Yeah,
okay. Is he even watching? I hope he's watching.
probably.
Because we were like talking about him.
I don't know.
We were
Well,
talking about
if
Calvin
he-
Cox for like a
if
minute
he-
there.
If he isn't,
If he isn't,
You're gonna,
Oh, he's
you're gonna have a
I don't
word
think
with
so.
him.
Calvin, do you see what
Uh-oh.
Mommy Queerest has in her hand?
No wired hangers.
Ever.
I work and work until I'm half dead. And actually, I'm all the way dead. And I hear them say, she's getting old. And what do I get? I get a daughter that cares as much as the beautiful dresses that I give her as she cares about me. No
And
wire
she put them on a
hangers
wired hanger.
ever.
A $300 dress on a wired hanger.
Because I
Oh,
am
Ricky, you're
Not
one of
one of
your
your fans. Oh my god. Okay. I can't see. How many people are actually watching us right now? How many people are watching us right now?
You know, we're all
Answer
going
me.
straight to hell
Of
via
course.
Facebook jail. You know
No, we're
that
not.
shit, right?
I'm going to heaven.
And here's Toni Homeperm and I looking like the damn jugs. Okay. Or was that jugs?
Jugs. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days.
These are the good old days.
These are the good old
Hey,
days.
Toni.
Yes.
Once upon a time, there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two.
Oh, this is turning into a musical night.
Those were the days,
Days, my friend.
we thought they'd never
never
end.
end.
We'd
We'd
sing
sing
and
and
dance
dance
forever
forever
and a
and a
day.
day.
Okay, pick something current that I can sing along to.
Ricky, we're just a little bit older than you.
Just a little bit older than me, but that's why I said pick something a little more current that I can sing along with you guys.
Where's Madison Mansfield when you need her? She could always chime in with a Madonna tune.
Really?
See, I can participate with that one. Is she still watching? She logged off.
Probably.
Your other son, Michael Flame Adama, was watching.
Oh, actually, we might have him as a future guest star too.
Yes, Mike Flame. We'd love to have you on.
Yes, we might have him demonstrate a facial of the non-pornographic variety.
I was gonna say.
Or a makeover.
A makeover.
No, my son Mike Flame Adamo is about to graduate head of his class at Paul Mitchell. And he's a very gifted makeup artist.
Yes, he is.
However, we're still having a debate over his past Halloween makeup that he called vampire and I called werewolf. And when I took it on an online poll, I won. Michael, it was werewolf makeup.
Werewolf.
How do you like them egg rolls?
How do you like them apples?
Have an egg roll, Mr. Goldstone. Have a napkin, have a chopstick, have a chair. Well,
and Ricky is giving a skeleton.
I'm giving you skeleton tonight. You know.
Yeah, you skinny bastard.
Is that a skeleton shirt, or do you have a boner?
It's a skeleton shirt.
When a mother calls her son a bastard, you can believe it.
Very true.
Well, you know, just go backwards. You know, I've been like, you know, back and forth between like, you know, vampire and werewolf. So, you know, I can like understand that whole, you know, mix up there. So,
well, Ricky, do you walk the night with mother, or do you simply faithfully guard her mausoleum during the day?
I don't know. I think I walk alone now.
Oh, okay. However, contrary to rumor, I am undead, but I am a day walker. I just avoid direct sunlight.
That's right.
Oh, I did too. You know, I don't like those tan lines that like come out of it. You know, so I like.
No, you know who likes tan lines, and they look great on him.
I don't know.
My son Calvin. Toni, when we have Calvin on,
where's Calvin?
We might have to make him show those tan lines.
I saw the side. I saw the side of the tan line.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I did.
Well, we only have a few minutes left.
Oh my God, that was so fast.
I know.
Yeah, they say that about me very often.
Yeah, we were just having too much fun over here.
Oh, and Mike Flamadamo said that he would love to, come on, do a facial makeover, whatever we want,
Well, that whatever we want,
whatever
we
we
want
want.
you to come over and clean my apartment, Michael.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't realize
listen,
he was a
my
cleaning
friend.
lady.
Okay, well, Tony and I will be on for a few minutes,
Hmm.
and only a few minutes,
Only
after we say goodbye to my sexy son, the handsome and talented artist and activist, Mr. Ricky Mestri. Ricky,
You
take a
build
bow
me
and
up too
blow a
much.
kiss, you handsome devil, you.
Ricky,
Thank you
tell
for having
everyone
me tonight.
where they can find you if they want to,
Yes, Ricky, how do we
commission you.
find you on social media?
Well, hopefully I was like tagged to all these posts that, we're like promoting this
You're going to be tagged on
wonderful
everything,
event.
gorgeous, but
Well,
how
there
does
you go.
everybody who wants to follow your art and possibly commission you themselves, how does our audience contact you, Ricky?
Well, there's a few different ways. You can
And let us have them all.
well, luckily my name is like right on the screen there. There we go.
Thanks to me.
Right there. So we got
Yes,
Ricky
thanks
Mestri
to
there.
Toni Homeperm. And everybody, this is a Toni Homeperm production.
Let me talk.
No. Go ahead, honey.
So, anyways, my website is rickymestri.com. So if you look at my name, you can just add .com to it,
Okay.
and that will give you access to links to all my social media pages, like my Facebook, my Instagram, and all that kind of stuff. If you have Instagram, I'm just like Ricky Mestri. If I'm on Facebook, I'm Ricky Mestri. If you want my like page, it's Ricky Mestri. If you want to follow me on like all of those things, it's just Ricky
Are you
Mestri.
on Twitter?
You know what? Honestly, I started a Twitter. I'm not a very good tweeter. So I just
Me either.
I know. I like open
All
one
I
up.
have on Twitter is gay porn stars and male strippers. I don't get Twitter, and I still have yet to get the hang of Instagram.
Well, no, Instagram I got a good hold of, but Twitter I'm like, but then there's like, what's that other one? Like, oh my God, I can't even think of
TikTok
it. TikTok, that's the new one. But before TikTok,
yeah, we don't do that.
I may like think about doing it because it's like, everyone's doing one now. So I might either.
All right, now to sound like a true mother, Ricky, if everybody was jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge, would you do it too?
If it looks like fun, I probably would.
All right, Ricky Mestri.
But realistically, no, I wouldn't.
In a future episode,
I would watch
Ricky
you fall.
Mestri
I'd be
will
like,
be
yeah, I'm not
bungee
doing
jumping.
that. I would want to fall back into, back on Earth. And I was like, no, I'm not ready to go yet. So I'll watch you fall and,
Well,
anyway,
Ricky, as your gay mother, I want to really thank you for joining us.
I had a good time with you guys.
It's been an honor.
Yes,
and
thank you, Ricky.
And everybody watching, if you want to be immortalized in portrait, especially a caricature, please contact the ever handsome Ricky Mestri. His prices are reasonable and his work is sublime.
Yes,
everybody, a big round of applause for my handsome son, Ricky Mestri.
Thank you for having me tonight. I had a
Thank
really
you
good
for
time.
joining us.
It was a pleasure having you tonight, Ricky. Good night, sweetheart.
Thank you. Okay, so now I gotta press that.
Bye-bye, Ricky.
Bye-bye, Ricky.
Bye. I'm gonna press that leave button now. But
yes. I love him.
I love him. Yeah.
And he's amazing. And Toni, you really need, and once again, for anybody who missed it, I have it right here handy.
Yes, show it off again.
A caricature of yours truly, the horror diva, done by our just signed off guest, the amazing and handsome Mr. Ricky Mestri. Tony, you simply must have one.
You know what would be great? Not only me, but if he did one of us together.
Oh my God, yes. The new background photo for
Mhm.
Naughty or
Or
Nice.
nice. Right?
Illustrated by Ricky Mestre.
That would be
Yeah.
fabulous.
Tony, we have to talk about that and get with Ricky.
Hmm.
Okay, in upcoming shows,
Hmm.
we will have somebody I'd like to call my granddaughter. Sadly, she is not, at least not yet. Our next episode on May 28th will be the lovely, luscious Latina bombshell, Ms. Christy Blaze.
Yes. I've
In
never met
up-
Christy.
oh, you simply must.
Well, I
She's
will.
amazing and she's gorgeous.
Well, that I can
And
tell.
oh, honey, she with the ever handsome Phil Chanel.
Hmm.
She was one of the hostesses at an event at Stonewall that took place every Tuesday night. Polish the Queen.
Polish the Queen,
I
right?
used to judge for them.
Right.
Sissy Walken has competed on Polish the Queen.
Hmm.
Okay, I lived. It brought my old fat ass to my feet when at the Stonewall Inn,
Hmm.
Christy Blaze leapt off the stage and landed in a split.
Oh my God.
Hashtag
Mm.
Cooter Slam. Christy Blaze
Mm.
is a credit to the Latina gay community.
Mhm.
She's an amazing performer.
Mhm.
She's just an all around sweetheart. And she's young, thin, and beautiful. In
Oh, so
other words,
you must hate her.
we hate her guts. No, anyway. But sweetie.
Sweetie.
Also, in future episodes,
Uh,
will be my son, up and coming makeup artist, Mike Flame Adamo.
yes.
Okay, makeup by Mike Adamo.
Mhm.
You can also look to see my son Calvin Cox,
Mhm.
one of the dancers with the Men of Eden.
And a
And
bean. Very
speaking
sexy.
of the Men of Eden,
Mhm.
okay, another very near future guest on Naughty or Nice
Nice.
will be my son Bryce Eden Adonis,
Mhm.
the driving force behind the Men of Eden.
Driving force. Mm.
Yeah, well, he's been called worse. Also by his mother, yours truly.
Uh,
But no,
uh,
we have so many great guests coming your way.
mhm.
Hopefully, we'll have some features from the Imperial Court of New York,
Mhm.
of which Tony and I are both members. Okay, and if you have any inquiries about the Imperial Court of New York, enter Imperial Court of New. I think it's Imperial Court of New York.org or ICNY.org.
ICNY.org.
We will have to bring that back to you on a future episode, but you
Mhm.
can Google the
Yeah.
Imperial Court of New York,
Mhm.
and it's an organization of great people doing great things for the community, and have been doing so in New York for well over 30 years. And the imperial court system is just over 50 years old.
Mhm.
So please give them a look online. Okay, and come this fall, pandemic willing, you can also look for Toni Homeperm and I, okay, as we are both honorary Long Island Wonder Twins. You can look for Toni Homeperm and I to be hosting either the first or second half of an event that's near and dear to both of our hearts for breast cancer research, Drag a Go Go,
Mhm.
which takes place very close to the end of October
Yes.
I had the date written down and I forgot to put it in front of me. But we'll address that in many future episodes of Naughty or Nice.
Yes.
It's
Sunday, October 18th is
Thank you. Sunday,
October
October
18th.
18th at the Ancient Order of Hibernians.
Hibernians. Ancient Order of Hibernians.
And where is that, Tony?
That is in Babylon.
Yes, right by the train station, so
Yes.
parking will be very easy.
Yes.
And Tony and I have a very special number planned for that event. And it's something near and dear to both of our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a cancer survivor, and this is for breast cancer. And it's a great event. And it's casual. What it is, it's a pre-Halloween party. Costumes are not necessary, but they're most definitely encouraged. And it's just so much fun. And also the same month, the Imperial Court of New York hosts an event called Dance, 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 which is basically a very glamorous disco party, of which Tony and I will also be performing in that.
That's October 4th.
October 4th at Pompeii Restaurant in Hempstead. Yes. Now, right now, these dates are tentative.
Like
bearing the pandemic situation.
Right.
But mark your calendars just in case.
Just in case.
And in the future, we will be providing more information on these events. We will also be providing more information on Imperial Court of New York events. And very soon, I'm hoping that Toni Homeperm will get her patootie back on stage.
Let's hope.
So is Toni Homeperm. But on behalf of Toni and I, and even though we're co-hostesses, make no mistake, Toni Homeperm is the driving force behind this podcast. It is a Toni Homeperm production, and I'm very pleased to be part of it.
Thank you.
So once again, thank you on behalf of Toni Homeperm and myself, Alexis Flame. We wholeheartedly, from the bottom of our prosthetic boobies, would like to thank you so much for tuning in to this segment of Naughty or Nice. And we'd also like to thank our special guest tonight, the ever handsome and dreamy, although any dreams connected to me are nightmares. We would like to thank our very handsome and talented special guest star, artist and activist, Mr. Ricky Mestri.
Yes, he was a wonderful guest.
Join us again on May 28th.
May 28th.
When our guest will be the amazing, scintillating Christy Blaze.
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Thank you again for another titillating Thursday evening. And until then, we'll both be watching to see if you've been naughty or nice. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. And stay safe, everyone. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Stay healthy, stay safe, and don't do anything I wouldn't do.
That doesn't leave much.
You might not want to do anything I would do either. Good night.
Good night, everyone.